Hi Cancer, and welcome to your December 2018 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. And oh my gosh, Cancer, you have a lot of power here. A lot more power than you realize, and a lot more potency to affect change, to affect your life, and to create realities for yourself and others. Sometimes perhaps without even realizing you are really strong here. Really, really strong, a lot stronger than you've been in a long time, and having to carry perhaps a lot more weight with that developed strength that you have than you've had to in a long time. I do feel like you are quite back and forth with the energies that are coming up because, we have just had Jupiter move into Sagittarius, we had Uranus move back into Aries, and it has created a lot of fire energy. And Cancer is always interesting, I feel, with the way that it channels fire energy such as that, because for some of you, of course, depending on your chart, it's a very second nature, easy experience, but for others of you, it can be a bit polarizing to see that the way that you have to channel your energy and the way that you're called to manifest right now is not really second nature, and it's sort of like learning a new system. There's like a sense of having a learning curve in your manifestation right now, as the old tried and true way of producing and productivity becomes something which is almost like a dumb note for you now. And for some of you, it really makes you thrive to step into a new place of productivity and to step into a new place of manifestation and a new way of using your energy. But for others of you, there can be a bit of stammering, I feel. There can be a bit of frustration and a bit of, okay, I'm really trying here. I'm really trying to develop my reality. I'm really trying to make other people happy. I'm really trying to be what other people need me to be, and it is not yielding a result. And I see you guys like slamming your fists against the table or something. And I also see an image of like it's like, like a child when they're hungry, they like hold their fork and their knives in their hand and they're like, feed me, and like banging their hands against the table with their forks. That's an image that I see for you guys as well, which is kind of funny. And don't let that freak you out. Like, that's not a jab, but you are wanting something. There is a desire, there is a want. I feel that Scorpio has this as well. Or you're in a relationship or connecting with someone who is that way, who's like, give me more, I want more. And it's like you can never satisfy them, whether it's you doing it or someone around you doing it. Like the whole insatiable to like the nth degree archetype energy, I do feel has reemerged in your life once more. And this hasn't been here since I feel about 2016 for you. So like, I say like mid 2016, and then you went into the summer with that trauma time, and you might sort of be realizing here and now, like, oh my God, this energy has entered back into my life. Last time it was here, things went completely out of control and terrible. So what does Cancer tend to do? You tend to go into the shell. You tend to pull back. You're like, okay, I'm going to push some people out. I'm going to take myself in, and it works. It's not that that's a bad thing, but I feel that Cancer is called to connect right now, and is called to find ease in their situations right now. Because look at all of these connective cards that you have: Three of Pentacles, the Lovers, the Sun, Three of Wands, Two of Cups, Wheel of Fortune. And then also some very disconnective, I'm going to say, energies as well. Three of Swords, Ten of Swords, the World reversed, and Three of Wands in its own way as well. It kind of is can go either way. You are in a tug of war right now, Cancer. All the water signs are, to an extent. All of the water signs are feeling this energy just because of the fire. We've had a sudden fire energy as we move into Sagittarius season. Uranus retrograding back into Aries, Jupiter moving into Sagittarius. And as the moon goes into Leo, you're going to see that this whole cycle is at its strongest, and you're going to know how to resolve it during that period of time. So I'm going to put the day that is in the description box below. I don't know it off the top of my head right now. And fun fact, my readings are indeed raw and unedited for the most part. Like if I slam my hand against the table, like I edit that out, but it's all a consistent stream. But anyway, Cancers, you have a lot of fortune and benevolence if you're having anything difficult, okay? And what you're scared of is how this happened last time. You felt as if everything was taken from you. You felt as if that insatiable thirst that came in, whether from you or from someone really close to you, you felt as if that took everything from you, and that is not the case this time. Whereas that archetype may emerge again, you now have a system of being able to thrive in every sector individually. I feel that what caused this to be so cataclysmic last time was the fact that perhaps your love sector or like your career sector bled into the entirety of your other life sectors. So you had a difficulty in a relationship, and then like your entire life was taken by that. So you couldn't go to work without thinking it. You couldn't pursue your goals without thinking it. You couldn't even like eat without thinking of it. And that sort of made it just all like compartmentalize and like combine into itself. So your entire life became an expression of that insatiable love experience that you had. And now that you see something similar coming back, you're like, is that going to happen again? The key for Cancer to come through this successful one way or another is to find the ability to thrive within each sector of your life individually. So being able to work without feeling that your love relationship dominates your ability within like your work or your health, or to be able to work on your health without feeling like everything else in your life is questioned just because you're feeling a bit fragmented in some way. You have choices this month, okay? Such strong choices to make. The Lovers is your central theme. You have Ten of Swords in your reading. You know, there's a lot on the line here. And can you face every situation with love? I always feel that that is encouraged. When the Lovers comes up, it's sort of course, it can be a crossroads. It can represent a new relationship or taking a current relationship to the next level. Of course, it can. But to me, it simply and plainly denotes facing life with love and facing situations that may not be difficult with love rather than force or bitterness, or sometimes Cancers can be a bit harsh and sharp in their demeanor when things aren't going the way that they want, and that's not encouraged right now. I feel there is like a softness, because you see the sharpness of like Three of Swords, Ten of Swords. You do have those like two like really prominent sharp energies coming forward. But can you showcase your love towards yourself and towards the people that you love, towards what you love in your life, in a way that does not punish them when they're not behaving in the exact way that you need? It's a weird, complicated energy coming forward there, but I almost feel a fear of the truth coming forward with this energy, and the truth is going to come out this month. The Sun, to me, always denotes, especially with like Ten of Swords and the World and the reading, that it's an end of any type of rose-colored glasses. It's the end of making things what we want them to be versus what they actually are. You will be faced with the absolute and complete truth of a matter this month. And how lucky. There's almost, to me, something, and this is where the trauma cycle emerges within Cancer, I feel. There's something that would almost prefer to have things easy versus truthful. And it's not truthful as in, like, are you outright lying about something, or are you outright being dishonest about something? But in the relationship, is there some type of fragmentation, or is there some type of expectation for the other person to be still versus speaking their truth if they're hurt about something? It's like, it's these like small layered versions of what truth represents and what reality represents. And the vision that I'm seeing with this, I'll just give you another example. It's a really interesting vision that comes up with that. So, for example, say you're like a teacher in a classroom. Say you're like an elementary school teacher or something, and you have like charge over a classroom of like 20 people. And everyone is like really well behaved. It's like really quiet. It's like really comfortable. Like the kids aren't acting up. Like it feels like things are good. Things are easy. And you can let that keep you from realizing that perhaps the entire class's grades are suffering or something. Or it's like the classroom is still and the classroom gets along and they follow your rules, like as it relates to behavior. But because of that, you can't see that they're actually performing really terribly. What I'm trying to say is that there's a strong need within Cancer to prevent the signs of something going bad. So it's almost like you would rather something be going bad and not have the signs, because to not associate it with the signs would somehow deny its presence in the first place. So we sort of have, yes, like rose-colored glasses, we have a tendency to sugarcoat things here. We have a tendency to reject and deny any type of seemingly negative action, when in reality that negative action perhaps is a cry of help, and to deny that really causes more problems in the long term. It's like the student starts acting out because it's frustrated because the student can't understand, so it starts to act out. And then the teacher shuts down that action immediately with like this really fine-tuned like mental gymnastics trick. It's like the teacher just looks at the student, and then the student like snaps back into shape and realizes, okay, I've got to do what the rest of the classroom is doing. I've got to be on good behavior. That's what this teacher needs. I'm going to give them what they need. And then after that, you have peace. It's like you have a few weeks of peace, but then that student ends up getting held back because they've never actually learned anything. Don't be the teacher in this case, Cancer. Do not be the teacher in this story where you're prolonging peace because you can't handle any type of negative dissemination right now. Because you will get peace right now. You will get peace and ease over these next few months by doing this, but will you lose your job because most of your students get held back? Will the parents cause so much commotion in your life because they're not happy with their children's performance? Like, it opens up so many cans of worms in the future to demand almost tyrannically a sense of peace right now, because you can do it. That's the power that you yield right now. You yield the power to create peace in the face of extreme frustration, which is an incredible, incredible power to have, but it has to be displaced in a way that you are not denying other people's cry for help, because sometimes cries for help are not a peaceful thing, and sometimes they don't need to be peaceful things. And deeper than that, why does it hurt you so much to see other people crying for help? You are the penultimate mother energy, which means that you're going to feel that so much harder. Like, when someone cries for help, when someone's in pain, when someone is hurting, you're going to feel that more perhaps than any other zodiac sign. And you've had to feel so hardly, or you've had to feel so strongly over the last few years, Cancer. So it's hard. It like hurts you, your inner being, to feel pain right now. But the answer is not to deny pain, because pain exists and it's on the individual. You know, pain is on the individual right now, and you can't be responsible for that. You know, for those, it might be most difficult for those of you who are in relationships, because there's that give and take, you know, and we kind of evolve upward out of our pain, hopefully, in relationships. And you can also see that in your relationships right now, especially if you're, you know, in a relationship with like an air sign, you know, or a water sign. You can see that they're frustrated, that there's a sense of frustration there, and a desire just to speak their pain, or a desire just to speak their truth. And that's very like healing for them. But, you know, is that your job? Like, is it your job to be processing other people's truth and pain? Is it necessary for all of your relationships to have that? Perhaps it is, but is it time to be in a relationship right now if that's seeming like something that is so betraying to you? You almost feel betrayed by people confronting you with their pain, especially if it's something that relates to you. Very, very hard for Cancer right now to feel that they've done something wrong, because you've done so much right, you know. You're right about a lot, and like you've probably heard this already in your arguments with people. Like, they're like, you're right. Like, I know that you're right about what you're saying, but I'm still in pain. And it's like, you think that if you're right, that they have no right to be in pain, you know, and then you kind of reject them a little bit. And rejection is protection. So I will like say, like, for, you know, really any of the signs this month, like, be careful with how you're rejecting, because people will interpret that as a protection, and they will go like, if like, this is a type of time where what you reject stays rejected. Like, it's not easy to reject something right now then want to snuggle up against it once more. So just, you know, and I'm saying that for all the signs this month and all of the readings. Be very careful with what you push away during this time, especially with Ten of Swords in your reading, especially with like the Lovers and the Sun in your reading, because you can push something away to never see it again. And then you start to question yourself, like, wait, I didn't actually want to push that away. I was just trying to show my pain, you know? So, you know, it is difficult, and I feel that this is the last month that it really has to be this way, Cancer. This is the last month where things have to feel like this. You have so many wonderful things coming up, you know, relating to career, relating to money, and for some of you, the relationships are really good, but Ten of Swords has been coming up so much for your sign lately, and I just always have to go deep whenever I see Ten of Swords. Like, it's easy sometimes with Ten of Swords energy to still be out of the loop with it and still feel like, no, that's not what this is. I'm staying upright. I am staying up. But then that's what calls in Ten of Swords, when we can't rest something, when we can't rest a need to be seen in the way that we want to be seen, or the need to be experienced in the way that we experience others, you know. That's when Ten of Swords comes in and it says, rest, you know. Exhale, look for a second. And again, this could be someone in your life who's the exact version of this, and you're having to deal with that, you know, but this is just the energy that's coming in. And I'm going to go ahead and get into the week-to-week Cancers, and we'll see what more specifically is coming up. Week number 1 in December 2018 Cancer, you have Wheel of Fortune rooted down by Three of Swords. So the wheel is turning. You know, you're probably seeing as you come out of November and into December, it's like one day I'm like on top of the world, the next day I'm feeling like bowled over, and you're like, what is this volatility? What is this polarity? It has a lot to do with how you love right now. Whenever Three of Swords comes up, I feel that pain or difficult experience deals with how deeply we're loving and how much we're sacrificing for someone else, you know? So a lot of you are truly in love with someone and truly connected with seeing them succeed. And you might see that they're kind of a bit depressing right now, or there's something about them that's a little bit hard to take in. But I do feel that it's rewarding to sit with them through that. I don't really like that energy a lot, but, you know, it says that through the Three of Swords experience, the wheel continues to turn. And it's really as simple as that. Like, do you feel that right now you're on top of the wheel, or do you feel you're under it? Do you feel that you are thriving in life, or do you feel like you're falling? Because continuing with love in this way, I feel, will continue the wheel to turn. So I suppose that if you're in a very difficult situation right now, that's good. You know, continue the way that you're going, because you will continue to turn the wheel and you'll get back on top. But if things are really good, I would consider changing the format of love, or changing the format of how you're connecting with people, just because you'll see that by continuing things the same way, you get the opposite result. It's a very odd energy there. So we're working with polarity energy. We're working with like a conditional energy, where through continuing the same, you get the opposite. So continuing the opposite, you get the same. And that's going to take on a lot of meanings for different people. And it's very abstract. I understand that. I don't care for that energy actually at all. I really don't like that in the first week. It doesn't mean it's going to be difficult. It just means that your psyche, Cancer, is interpreting something very vast, complex, and long-standing. What you are dealing with is something that goes really far back. This is not something recent. This is not something that has just come up. This is something that's probably been working for the last 20 years in a lot of you, and it's something that is trying to resolve itself, okay? So try to not displace this on, oh, this brand new person that I'm in a relationship with, or oh, this brand new career that I have is the reason that I'm struggling right now, or oh, this relationship that I have with food just recently is the problem. Try to really understand the complexity and wholesomeness of this issue that you are having at hand right now, and try to look really far back and see, is this who I am now? Because what you're also struggling with here is perhaps a past self lashing out unconsciously. So you have a past self that might have been really dominating, perhaps about 8 to 10 years ago, I'm feeling. More like 10 to 12 years ago, because we're looking back at the last Jupiter time with Wheel of Fortune. So about 12 years ago, really, is the time period. Where were you 12 years ago, Cancers? That will shine a lot of light on where you are right now, as that is the cycle that is trying to become healthy once more. That is the energy that is trying to become displaced in a healthy way once more. So look back 12 years and see that. And how can you apply the lesson from what was happening 12 years ago to the current problem at hand? Because I feel that all that's happening at a you level, you know, I can't speak for the other people in your life, but at a you level, the only issues which are coming up is that person that you were 12 years ago feeling as if they don't have control and wanting control within you. This isn't multiple personalities. This isn't something that's ill. This isn't something that's diseased. This isn't like mental unwellness. This is just something that all humans go through as we shift through different versions of ourselves, and they each sort of become a part of us in a different way. So that part of you could just be wanting to come out once more. For some of you, it's going to be very I don't know, I was about to say that it's going to be a very positive self that just wants to reemerge, but it wouldn't be lashing out in this way if it were very positive. So you probably are dealing with a version of yourself that was not perhaps the best for you at the time. And it may just be trying to reemerge once more. So sit with that and sit with your inner self. Meditate. Such an important time for meditation right now for Cancer. Such an important time to have just stillness and silence. Not too much. A little bit goes a long way. If you could just have like 30 minutes a day, you know, at the most really, of just stillness and silence, and have that communication with yourself, you're going to see, wow, that's what this is. And you're going to see, wow, I can give that what it needs without hurting anyone in my life. You know, I don't have to be dishonest to give this what it needs. I don't have to starve myself to give this what it needs. I don't have to quit my job to give this what it needs. All it wants is a sense of care, or it wants a sense of, yeah, I'm gonna, walk through town wearing that and doing that and projecting that person that I want to project. It doesn't have to hurt anybody. You're afraid that to be who you once were would be to hurt other people or to hurt yourself in some way because you don't trust it. You don't trust it. Are cancers having trust issues in their lives? Those of you in relationships, are you having trust issues come up? Of course, I can't speak for the other person. This is only your energy. What are you trusting from about 12 years ago? And what are you not trusting from about 12 years ago? Really, really important answers that will yield important questions. And I meant to say really important questions that will yield really important answers, but it could go either way. Because with every answer comes a new question. And don't try to find final answers, Cancer. They don't exist. Final conclusions and final answers are antithetical to this type of existence. So with answers come questions. And that's what's frustrating this part of you from 12 years ago, is the fact that you can't seem to find an answer and a simplicity to what's happening. Therefore, that's driving this part of you completely, maniacally crazy. It says, why aren't there answers? Why aren't there conclusions, solid conclusions, and solid endings? This is a very cathartic energy that wants to see endings because it's scared to emote, it's scared to energize because it is associated with death drive. Don't let this scare you, Cancers. You're there. Your fourth house energy, your IC energy. Nadir energy. So this is the very lowest part of the human consciousness, the very lowest part of the depths, So this is the type of thing that you deal with, and this is the type of thing that comes up in this type of energy. And it is powerful. It is strong. It is the type of thing that with merely by looking into someone's eyes, you can elicit such a strong reaction. You can be the teacher who looks into the eyes of the rowdy student and completely calm them. But does that solve the problem? No, it doesn't. That merely puts a conclusion, ending, into something temporarily to have a temporary sense of peace and ending. And in the long run, the student fails and gets held back and you lose your job. It is that type of thing, to go back to that example from earlier. So be careful with how you yield this power. Be very cautious with it because it is so strong. And this is the type of person who can go onto the world stage and elicit a complete change to poverty in a third world country or something as well. It's that type of energy. It's the type of person who can start a business with a motto that creates a lot of revenue and also creates a lot of peace for people. You can see yourself getting into a charitable organization or something that truly can help people who are poor or can truly help people who are struggling. And there is a desire with that in you. But can you find this peace that you can so powerfully yield within the lack of knowledge of the reactions of others? I want you to sit with that for a moment. It's a little bit complicated. There's such a strong ability for peace here and simplicity without needing endings or conclusions. That's the sticky part. Without needing endings, finality, or conclusions, there is such an ability for peace in your energy right now. Now, can you react to the unpredictable, sometimes chaos of others with that power without needing to change things for them? Cancer peacefully reacting to the pain of their loved ones during this time is one of the most karmically healing things for you and them. It's if you can just react peacefully to it for a split second, it heals and never really comes back. But then you can also get very upset that people aren't continuing your ideal of peace and that they would dare kind of threaten that, and that can kind of make things be complicated for about the next 4 months. It's not all on you, and if people cannot give you the peace that you need, or if you're being peacefully reacting to other people and you see them keep jabbing at you and keep kind of betraying you in that way, if you're feeling betrayed after about the 4th week of December and you've been trying and you're really trying to honor the truths of others with peace, then it's time to make a change. It's time to I'm not saying it's time to end things necessarily, but it's definitely time to think about things differently. If people cannot give you back the peace that you give them, if that's what you choose to give them during this time. Okay, I hope that that's making sense. I know it's complex, and this is going to be a long reading. Okay, week number 2 of December, you have the 3 of Pentacles rooted down by 2 of Cups reversed. You're really trying here, Cancer, and you need to applaud yourself for the effort that you're putting in. This is someone who takes a difficult situation and really works on it. And it's encouraged to be building in all aspects of life right now. Building your business, building your relationship, building your health. I absolutely adore the energy of Three of Pentacles for you right now. Good job, Cancer. You're taking that that whatever that was that we just talked about for like 20 minutes in the first week, you are taking that and you are building, and you're not going to lay down and die. You know, Ten of Swords, that's coming soon enough. I'm just kidding. You're not going to lay down and die in the presence of a cycle, which is a never-ending turning wheel. You know, the wheel turns, the wheel continues, and it always will throughout this lifetime, Cancer. And I'm so proud of you for thinking, I can build out of this. I can build a structure that is solid, sort of meeting that desire to have finality halfway, you know, with a wonderful business, with a wonderful new creative project, with a wonderful sense of solidarity for yourself and your loved ones. Building solidarity with your family, whether that be your biological family or your inherited family. What a wonderful thing to do right now. Building the people up around you, allowing the people around you to build you up. Really nice holiday energy for you all. Like maybe you're getting nice gifts, or maybe you're really enjoying connecting with that sense of spirit. Allow yourself to be built by the people around you. Allow yourself to enjoy the sense of security that you do have, because there is a sense of security there. That's rooted down by Two of Cups reversed, which says to me that you have been struggling with lack of security, okay? You have that energy of perfect, beautiful, romantic connection in your life, but perhaps it's feeling imperfect now. Perhaps that feeling of romantic connection that you've had for a while is imperfect, but thank God. You know, because when things get too perfect, they get boring in this type of reality. And when things get boring, they get dramatic. So allow the imperfections to come through and allow yourself to acknowledge them and allow yourself to build through them and solve them in any way that you can, because imperfections can't be solved, but they can be harnessed and they can be used as building blocks in a more wonderful reality. Please don't take from yourself that opportunity. So second week of December, to get more mundane again, this is the time where you build. This is the time where you accept imperfections and can distinguish between imperfections and faulty foundations. Because if there's like a foundation that's faulty, that's so different than just like a slight imperfection. But you'll be able to know the difference. I just wanted to put that out there. But that's when you can build out of those things, and that's when you can harness those things to have more power than they currently do. Week number 3 in December, you have the World reversed, rooted down by Ten of Swords. Okay, so this is where things get real. This is where the test happens, probably. And this is where you sort of look back, perhaps at the entirety of 2018 before we get into the new year, and think, what has this year been, really? And has it been something that has suited me? Has it been something that has seen evolution? And am I seeing it from a perspective that allows me to even be available for that? You know, allow yourself to see things from an optimistic perspective, Cancer. You are a more optimistic sign than a lot of people might let on. Because sometimes people tend to see Cancer as a pessimistic or pragmatic energy, but you do have a Jupiter connection. Jupiter is exalted in your sign. So there is a sense of optimism, benevolence, abundance, luck, and ease in the Cancer archetype as well. And I would love for you guys to tap into that. Jupiter has gone back into its home sign of Sagittarius. So there's no reason that you can't face this type of situation that comes up in the third week with grace and perseverance and optimism. So there's a definite end that has to happen in the third week of December, Cancers, and I need you guys building up to that period of time to be open to seeing what that is, because it may not be the most obvious thing. Oftentimes when the World reversed and Ten of Swords energy comes up, it says that a lot of things can end as a false face to what truly needed to end. So you can see that, yeah, I'm in a really abusive, terrible relationship right now, but I'm not going to accept that that's true, so I'm going to quit my job. And because I'm going to make myself believe that the job is what's creating the instability in the relationship. So for those of you in abusive relationships or codependent relationships, you definitely have to see during that time, okay, this is the relationship creating this strain in my life. I'm not going to lash that out on my job or my health or my family or my friendships. Okay, because you can actually, when things are that deeply connected, again, just to use that example again, you're in an abusive relationship that needs to end, you can go through every single solid thing you have in your life. You can quit the job, you can quit school, you can quit being there for your family, you can become a real pain to your friends, you can lose all your money. and have to be faced with the loss of everything before the relationship finally snaps and ends. So it's your choice whether you just want to pluck out the thing which is being a big problem right now, or you want to go through every other single sector and create havoc until there's nothing left but the last straw to fall, you know? Again, it's a really important time for some meditation. In the third week, I mentioned that a little bit earlier. Oftentimes, what creates this type of lack of ability to elicit proper actions in the proper sectors is just not really checking in with how you actually feel about things, and also trying to avoid what is truly there. So, a bit of escapism can cause this as well. I'm too scared of being alone with myself and single, so I will not allow this relationship to end, or I will not. And then for those of you who are having the career problem, if like the career is the source, like I am so scared of not having this income, therefore I would rather die than lose this job and risk the loss of this growth that I've had. I'm too scared of the loss to actually do what is authentically right for me. So yeah, it's meditative. Meditation is so good, and I'm not talking just like doing whatever you want. I'm not talking like, yes, I'm going to like lay in bed and listen to music all day, or I'm going to lay in bed and like be on my phone all day. It's not that. That's important too right now. That's desperately important right now, to give yourself self-love and to give yourself the things that you want to do. But some absolute silence and absolute undistraction, just in small doses. 10 minutes. 10 minutes one day, Cancer. Sit in complete silence with yourself. No electronics around you. No people around you. And you will see something with so much more clarity than you could have ever anticipated. Please do it. Because in silence and lack of distraction, there is no room for escapism. And escapism is the enemy. Perhaps escapism is the most likely thing to pull forth Ten of Swords energy. Because there's so much progression coming soon. The World Reversed says that a chapter is ending, but we really don't want this great chapter to end. It's a sense of pain in the third week, Cancer, and it does not have to be bad. It does not have to hurt. For some of you, you're going to float through this so good because you figured this out in 2016. You figured out how to get through this, and now you know what to do, and that's going to be true for a lot of you. Like, a lot of you have faced this before, and, with each time that it happens, it gets a little bit easier. But you can't hold yourself in Ten of Swords and force the world reversed. The world is such a blessing because it says we can end this. This betrayal, this sense of being stabbed in the back, this lack of health, this lack of ease, this sense of dis-ease coming into my life, that can all end with the world. That can turn over, that can become new, but why would you prevent that? Because you want to feel this sense of dis-ease and learn from it, and you want to be that much stronger. That's an interesting thing, Cancer, and it's okay, you've done it before, but can you handle this type of strain again? I don't think you have to. I think you need to embrace the world energy and allow yourself to see life through a new lens. Allow yourself to, I want to be a little bit crude here, but in fear of getting crap from YouTube, I'm just going to say, worry less about the past selves and think about the future selves coming in. Think about the new chapter. Think about the way that you can, stand up for yourself and be strong for yourself, but not be fearful of the things that other people say, or not be fearful of the confrontations that other people create. Like, not be so fearful and not be so angry, like enjoy a sense of peace within yourself that you can so powerfully yield in others, really extend that to yourself. Extend this power to create peace to yourself, and that will really solve many, many problems. Because in the fourth week, you have that Three of Wands rooted down by the Sun, and that is just so incredible, so beautiful. I'm blown away about how you have done that. Like, I feel like you've done exactly the advice that I've given, and that's to allow the new chapter to come in. Three of Wands in the Sun is like exactly what should happen after Ten of Swords, like it's a dark night of the soul, but the sun rises, the darkest hour is before the dawn, but the dawn comes, and that's that past self that I've been talking about off and on throughout the entire reading, Cancer. That is the type of self that does not allow the dawn to come. That is the type of self that does not make for the end of a chapter, but merely void and nothingness and emptiness and conclusion and solidity. But you're not going to let yourself do that this time, Cancer. You are allowing light, bright and healing energy to come back into your life during the 4th week of December. It is a deep breath, an exhale and inhale all together. It is embracing the daytime once more, embracing the truth, embracing the warmth of life once more. So allow yourself to do that, Cancer. It's so beautiful. And you can do that now, really. Like, it doesn't have to wait until the end of December. You can embrace the light now, and you can embrace the choice to have optimism and lightheartedness now. The Lovers is your central theme, so that says to me that the decision can happen at any time. So you're hearing this reading, it's your choice to end this video and say, you know what, I choose optimism, I choose faith, I choose warmth, and I choose love. I don't choose hatred, I don't choose resentment, I don't choose resistance or avoidance or escapism. I choose embrace, love, prosperity, abundance, and clarity. And maybe sometimes people will look at me sideways. And maybe sometimes people will say something behind my back, or be hateful, or begrudge me something, or wish to see me not do as well as I am. But I don't care, because I am strong enough and I am confident enough in my ability as a person to disprove whatever problems may arise. You don't have to be so unconfident in yourself, Cancer, that you think that other people create and generate your reality for you. And when I say disprove them, I don't mean deliberately attempting to disprove someone. I mean allowing your actions to automatically disprove them. It's not something you have to try to do. It's just this new sense of Three of Wands, looking at the horizon, this sense of the sun, allowing optimism to come in, allowing truth to come in, and allowing yourself to be recharged, revitalized, and re-energized is enough in and of itself to squash out anything that wants to see you fail. Because you're afraid of failure. Oh my gosh, Cancer, so afraid of failure. And that's okay. Your sign is representative of that entire complex. You know, fear of failure, fear of not being enough, fear of lack, fear of loss. That is your territory and a lot of what your karmic lessons consist of. But I'm here today, Cancers, to tell you that it doesn't have to be the cycle right now. You can have things easy, you can have things prosperous, you can have things abundant, and you can choosingly do so. That's where the deliberate choices lie for you, is in that deliberate choice to face the world with love and to face the world with connection and sober affection. You are so strong right now. You are literally probably the strongest sign of the zodiac. Being able to build and go into Three of Pentacles in the face of this type of lingering dark night shows your tenacity for a better and more wholesome life. And you will get it, Cancer. 2019 will be beautiful for you, mark my words. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just as 2018 has been in its own way, you know, you've actually been a sign who has been able to flourish in 2018. Look at how much more you have now than you had in 2016 and 17. You know, look at how much you have more. There can be a tendency to think I'm just as bad off as I was then, but look at how much more you have, Cancer. Like, truly, things are getting a lot better. Don't take it away from yourself, you know. Rather build off of it. You know, you can choose to take it all away from yourself and build off from the bottom like you did in 2016, but wouldn't it be a lot nicer to build from what you have now and go even higher? That's the goal here and now, and it's just something to see, it's something to click. And you treat others with love, treat yourself with love, trust yourself, allow others to trust you, allow yourself to be peaceful, but don't demand it. You know, other people make their decisions, and it's only your place to decide whether or not you allow that in or out. I trust in you guys. I feel like you are so strong right now. This has been an absolutely incredible reading to give. I feel so connected to you. And if this didn't resonate by any chance, check out your sun, moon, rising sign. There should be more positive messages in the other signs. But this is a positive message for sure. I'm not saying it's a negative message, but it's a heavy one for sure. But also your likes, subscribes, and comments make my day. You can check the description box below where I am on Patreon and other various social media. If you'd like to reach out for a reading or anything of the such, you can find my contact details down there. You can click the center of your screen to check out the Jupiter Strong products. I have a discount code for the rest of the year. They're so great. The shirts are so soft. Like, all I want to do is sleep in them. And the phone cases are really chic and sexy as well. It's all such good material. I was like pleasantly surprised at how nice it turned out. So if you'd like to support my channel as well as have a tangible reminder of the wonderful Jupiter, which Jupiter is exalted in your sign, Cancer. So Jupiter energy is always a good thing for you to evoke. Be sure to check out that link and have some happy holiday shopping perhaps. Anyway, I've been so joyous to be here and to be reading for you. Much love, Cancer, and we will be talking soon. Hit that bell button with the subscribes to see my posts in the future. I have a lot of new things coming out that I hope you'll get to see. Much love, Cancers. We'll be talking soon. Bye.